Okay. We will call to order the regular board meeting for the Board of Election Commissioners for the City of Chicago. Good morning. My name is Maricel Hernandez. I'm the chair. With me today is Commissioner June Brown.
Present.
Commissioner Cressy will not be here today. Next item is the Executive Director's report. Mr. Holliday.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioner Brown. Today marks 70 days before the election. To give additional time to test and proof all the voting equipment, early voting at our two downtown locations will start Thursday, October the 3rd at 9 a.m. at the Super Site at 191 North Clark and at our office at 69 West Washington on the 6th floor. As of today, we have received over 180,000 vote by mail applications heading into November, with nearly 150,000 people signed up for the permanent vote by mail roster. We have been active in the community at several events the past 2 weeks, including providing resource table this weekend at Angels of God Resource Center on Friday. Saturday, August 24th, we had our event at Olive Baptist Church, Rays of Hope, Kendrick Memorial Missionary Baptist Church, and Southwest Collective Neighborhood Organization. Myself and staff was present to register voters, recruit election judges, and help voters apply for vote by mail. On August 5th and August 22nd, Trinity United Church of Christ had 2 days of voter registration, where voter registration packages were delivered by Lance Goff, former director. We have several upcoming events. I will be speaking alongside Cook County Clerk Cedric Giles for an event organized by You Can Vote on September 3rd. There will be a board resource table. And then at Fourth Presbyterian Church on next Wednesday, September the 4th, I will be speaking there as well. The board will celebrate several upcoming election holiday events and resource tables, including Teen Voter Registration Day on Tuesday, September the 10th, National Voter Registration Day on Tuesday, September the 17th, where we will hold registration drives at City Colleges of Chicago, High School Voter Registration Week from September the 23rd through September the 27th, National Voter Education Week from October 7th through the 11th, Vote Early Day on October 29th, and Election Day Hero on November 4th. People are getting excited for this next election. I want to thank the hard work of our community service team, along with our registration department, for undertaking these dozens of events and working during weekends to take advantage of this excitement and make sure we have a high volume voter turnout for Election Day. With additional referendum questions filed for wards and precincts in Chicago, the board is now preparing for 2 paper ballots for the November 5th presidential election. We have updated our training, our posters, and materials to reflect these 2 ballots. Finally, I want to call attention to 3 individuals in our room who act as heroes at our warehouse and assisted our warehouse supervisor, Tim Boyd, during a medical emergency. I want to give thanks to Tobias Repass from All Construction, Kenneth Selets Jr. from Wall Tech, and Jersey Tukuris from Wall Tech. All 3 individuals showed great care and bravery in helping Tim and prevent the situation from becoming worse. And we thank them for the ongoing service towards supporting free and fair elections in Chicago. We would like to present. Yes.
Well, I just wanted to say to each of you, thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, Mr. Boyd, may not be here still today. And you've inspired us because, we said that as a result of your actions, um, we're going to uh, teach our employees life-saving skills, including CPR. And we're going to get some of the heart,
AEDs?
the what?
AEDs?
Yeah. Yeah, AEDs, here and at the warehouse. But, I can't thank you enough for everything you did. So,
Thank you so much.
So at this time, Madam Chair, I'd like to present
yeah.
a resolution from the board for your service, your bravery, to our employee, Timothy Boyd, and
Shake.
Is this for you?
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, miss.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hopefully we won't need this. That's right, but.
If we do, we hope you're there.
We hope you're there.
Thank you very much, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And here,
May I ask how he's doing? Any improvement?
That's good.
That's good.
Send our best regards. Thank you. All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
And Madam Chair, I have spoke with Finance Department to look into those defibrillators and also look into training for the staff as well.
Because the Red Cross will do it for you, I'm sure.
right,
Right.
and I had mentioned that.
Yes.
That we should contact them for employee training.
Right.
Definitely.
I have a couple of questions about your report.
Okay.
A change, because I had written down, or I think I told somebody, that early voting started on the 26th of September.
Yes.
And we changed that date.
The change was pushed back a week because of to prepare and to really catch up with what needs to be done to program those early voting machines. Speaking with our vendor, Dominion, we were kind of behind in our language translations for those machines, far as the translation and the recordings for those machines.
The language, which languages?
Well, the non-English language that are presented on the touch screen.
Right, all of them, or just
He-
specifics?
He didn't say, he just
So
mentioned
this
that.
was Dominion.
Yeah, Dominion, he brought it to my attention, and at one of our meetings, he brought it to us that we were behind. And that was one of his main concerns, making sure that everything is in shape and ready to start voting at the early voting sites on that was scheduled for the 26th.
Right, because
we-
people like me been on there already and saw the 26th. So when you said the 3rd today,
Right,
it
so-
threw me a little.
So our website,
It's been updated.
it's been updated, and our public relations director, Mr. Max Bever, he's putting communications out through the media to inform everyone. I even had questions about that on Saturday at the event I was at for Raise a Hope.
Okay, and speaking of the event, what are the outcomes been? What are our numbers?
Okay. The numbers are not that high, Commissioner Brown, but over the weekend, there were 13 registrations taken, 5 vote by mail applications, and 17 judges apps.
This was for the Rays of Hope, or?
This was for all the events this past weekend. So we are there. We have a presence there. I can speak for in a case where I was at. A lot of the individuals were already registered to vote.
Did you check their registration?
Did I check their registrations? No, because I had no way to check their registrations out in the field. But they've stated that they gave the cards with the QR code for them to check They can scan the code and they can go online and check. Some was very sure that they were, and then there was just some individuals that kept telling us, "We'll be back, we'll be back, we'll be back," and they walked by a couple of times, but they never stopped to do anything as far as registration or vote by mail.
So is community outreach gonna follow up with them?
With the individuals,
Yes.
no, because they didn't leave any names or anything, so we can't follow up with them.
Okay, maybe we need to reassess how we do that program. My final question, warehouse status.
Well, the warehouse status is things have been moved from the fifth to the fifth and the sixth floor. The sixth floor, where there's retention and vote by mail carriers. There's still a little situation there as far as the restrooms and some of those pillars being wrapped. I've spoke with the city on this, and this is what is going to be done, supposed to be done. Because we will have someone there, or some individuals from vote by mail going through those carriers. The situation is a little better than they were on the lower floor because there was no heat down there. They had a fan blowing. They'll be up there with two large fans blowing as well, and they have better lighting up there. But it's just the condition and some of the things that still have to be done to those floors that I've been fighting with the city, PBC, 2FM to get those things done.
Because I'm just thinking today, on a full disclosure, I was out there. It was a nice day, and not nearly like it's going to be today. And it was, you walk from one side to the other, and it felt like you went into a heat sheet. So people working in those conditions is a great concern to me.
It's a great concern to me as well, Commissioner Brown. That's why my suggestion was to get us a new warehouse. Okay, as I stated, they moved more fans and air purifiers up there. It was the fans issue. The air won't be working up there until those lower floors that they're working on are completed. Because it takes the whole system. They can't do part of it. And again, this is why my push was to move us into a new warehouse.
But we're not getting that. So
Well, we're not getting it, so
Yeah.
I have to deal with what the city gives me.
Well,
There,
yeah, I suggest we write a letter documenting, you know, the conditions and especially with this heat, and send it to the city. Okay?
I will, and that I've already started drafting the document from my visits out there.
Okay. Okay. Is,
I said no assistant director.
oh, no. Does that conclude your report, Mr. Holliday?
Because I have some figures for from the judges department, what we have on hand far as judges and election coordinators. We have active 273 high school, college, and language judges. Party judges assigned 49. Their deadline to assign judges will be September the 6th. Pending, waiting to be assigned, 3,040. Applied, waiting to be approved, 11.
And what's our goal?
I think our goal is 7,500 since the reduction of precincts.
Thank you. We will now go to our Public Information Director, Mr. Bever.
Commissioners,
Good morning.
as the Executive Director said, Vote by Mail is off to a very strong start, and we're proud to say that we've got nearly 150,000 people signed up for our permanent roster. We sent out a confirmation email to all of these voters. In fact, it's working as a mini canvas in a very helpful way. Many voters are reaching out to us to let us know they've moved or they can opt out. They can use our online application to immediately opt out as we're following up with the cancellation of their voter registration if they've moved out of the city, or many voters are reaching out to us to say they're planning to vote in person, either early voting or voting on election day. So these communications have been helpful for us to reach all of our permanent roster voters and make sure they know their ballot's coming or to change their preferences ahead of election day. As the executive director mentioned, community services himself, myself, communications, registration, been very busy taking advantage of the summer events and heading into the fall right now. In fact, I think to the executive director's point, the online tools that are available now, not just the online vote by mail application and permanent roster, but the state of Illinois' online registration portal seem to be so effective that we're just having less registrations in person, less paper applications. And a lot of these events are informational tables, are directing people to use these online resources. They can do it right off of their phone. So while some of these numbers, while our presence at these events might be in the single or the double digits, many more are interacting with our website, interacting with the Illinois State Board of Elections website and portal, and making sure that they're registered, they're confident in their information, and we're seeing people making a plan to vote already heading into November. But to add some additional recent events and upcoming events to the executive director's list, last week I spoke at a reception event for the National Bar Association on August 21st, addressing lawyers and pushing election judge recruitment, especially that they, wherever they are, whatever election authority that they can assist, that is the best way that everyone can assist preparing for November 5th. The executive director and I have a meeting today with the new executive director of Common Cause Illinois, and we are looking forward to seeing how we can assist their organization. And their Common Cause has many registration drives and other events planned through the end of the year, including that I will be serving as a panelist at their September 22nd Youth Summit, and I will share more information as that is upcoming. Nick Esposito, our ADA coordinator, and I have met with the National Federation of the Blind, planning over the next few months. We're looking forward to creating a video and a podcast with their organization on the resources available to voters with disabilities, as well as their president coming to train our trainers on interactions with blind voters once those get scheduled for early October. Then October 18th, 2024, at Truman College, we are setting up a partnership with the Office of Community Policing for a Know Your Rights While Voting seminar. So we are putting that together right now, but we just scheduled that and looking to get that taped for a future resource to share as well. I'm planning additional Know Your Rights While Voting flyers and posters and communication. We're going to have quite a few new flyers, I think, coming up over the next month, just to be an additional resource for voters, as well as ways they can research candidates and campaigns. Of course, us as the election authority, we're not linking to direct campaigns or resources, but provide where people can look up and feel comfortable as they're heading into the voting booth. And then finally, as the executive director mentioned, now that this October 3rd date for early voting has been determined, we are going to push out this information very heavily over the next 4 weeks. We'll be following up with our community partners with an email. Like the executive director said, our website, all of our other materials have been updated. While this is 7 days later from the first day that early voting can be open, not required to be open, we are still ahead of the county, which is always a good rivalry to have there. And this will be for our 2 downtown sites. So, Chairwoman, we'll be looking to schedule that opening press conference on Thursday, October 3rd. We are also going to invite our community partners, as well as our language access partners, to that opening date. So we are going to also be relying on our community partners and organizations to help us just make sure that everyone knows that that is the first date of early voting. As we know, there's going to be a lot of interest heading into this election. We're expecting a high turnout. We know that we'll generally see above 70% turnout. We'll see if, what ultimately our number is, but we want to give voters the information that they need and have as many days as we can.
October 3rd is the date for the Supersite.
Supersite, and then it will also be our 6th floor at 69 West Washington, our additional downtown early voting
All
Supersite.
50 early voting sites.
50 wards will open Monday, October 21st, right at 9 a.m., and that will be our next big press conference.
Okay. Um, uh, you just gave me a thought when you were talking about the National Bar Association. Um, you maybe what we could do is write a letter to each of the local bar associations, um, asking them for their assistance in on election day, um, serving as judges of election or whatever.
Or for
But
Election Central, perhaps.
there are many different bar associations. I'm sure there's a listing somewhere. And if we could just write to them, to the president of each of those associations, I think, and ask them to get the word out, post a letter. A lot of them send out weekly newsletters. I think we may be able to get some positive feedback. Okay.
Excellent. I think that's an excellent idea. I think the American Bar Association, the National Bar Association, have been proactive, reaching out to us and assisting us with communications and creating videos. I think us reaching out to all the local associations and doing some research there, certainly we'll follow up on. That does remind me too, we are getting into our advertising season as well. So I'll be working closely with our community services team. You'll be seeing a good amount of those in our community papers, as well as digital advertising packages that we're putting forth. Our focus for the month of September is election judge recruitment. We will focus on early voting for October, but we are going to spend the next month really recruiting judges. As the executive director said, we have a certain number to hit, but we also want to overhire. Generally try to reach 2,000 to 2,500 extra election judges so we can get ahead of resignations and no-shows on election day.
Okay.
You may want to touch base with the Chicago Bar. They usually have a combined grouping, or at least a listing of those groups, as well as other civic groups that you may want to find out about. Panhellenic, because all of them now have election day plans set and rolled out.
Excellent. And I think that's a good idea, Commissioner. And well, you know what? I forgot one more thing, but I might as well get it on the record, and I'll talk about it in meetings coming up. But we're also organizing a series of disinformation and misinformation presentations, along with a voting machine demonstration at 3 separate libraries, along with community services. That's going to take place in October. We're still locking down some of those dates, but they are going to be at libraries on the north side, west side, and south side.
Good.
As well as Harold Washington Library. I have worked with the League of Women Voters. They have created a lot of great resources on mis and disinformation, as well as new presentations on AI and how it affects our election. We'll be working in coordination to make a presentation, show our video. We also have our You Can Trust the Voting Machines video that will continue to be a resource heading into Election Day. But one of the best parts of this will be the voting machine demonstration, which any voter can feel more comfortable and see how this process goes, and go through all of the different dozens of cybersecurity protections and laws that we follow when it comes to your vote at the ballot box.
Okay, great, thank you. Now we'll proceed with old business, infrastructure projects and changes in election administration, including electronic poll books and voting equipment. Mr. Holiday, anything there?
None, just the equipment is being updated and being prepared for our November election.
Okay, thank you. There is no legislation?
Correct, Madam
update?
Chair.
Right, okay, so we'll proceed with new business. And the first item is a proposed agreement with Suburban Exposition Services for the rental, delivery, and pickup of drapery for early voting sites and other uses for the 2024 general election. Amanda?
Good
Hi.
morning. Good morning. The Procurement Office is requesting your consideration and approval to award a contract for drapery rental services to Suburban Exposition Services. Suburban Exposition Drapery Rental Services is required for the November 2024 election. During the election cycle, the board rents various sites for early voting and election day. Drapery is needed for early voting super site center and 6 early voting sites. The drapery is required to ensure our voters' privacy around the voting machines and windows. of the early voting sites. The board has worked with Suburban Exposition in the past and therefore is confident that Suburban has the capacity to fulfill the board's drapery needs for the November 2024 election. Suburban has confirmed their capacity to fulfill and meet the board's drapery needs in preparation for the election. Suburban most recently provided the board with drapery rental for the March 2024 election. The procurement is recommending a contract to be awarded to Suburban Exposition Services for drapery rental for the November 2024 election in the amount not to exceed $90,617.50.
Okay. Any questions?
I know when we did the March,
Mhm.
we were looking at it and we were looking at seeing what was more efficient and
Correct.
what was more,
Right.
financially sound for us.
Mhm.
So,
I did do some digging around to get some quotes, and the drapery is very pricey. And because of the square footage around the early voting sites, I had to enter that amount into next year's budget.
mhm.
So we will continue. I'll continue searching and see where I can find the drapes in our specific blue color.
Okay. So for next year's budget,
For next
because we
year's.
don't really have
Correct.
elections next year.
Right.
So you're trying to see if we can purchase them. And
Mhm.
Mr. Holliday, is that in compliance with our recommended audit issues?
The audit issues didn't
The
mention,
recommendations, they didn't give us a recommendation on financial expenditures and on how we should buy them?
no, they didn't.
Okay, but I know you were looking at it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve a short-term agreement with Suburban Exposition Services for drapery rentals for the 2024 general election with a cost not to exceed $90,617.50 for the term September 19th, 2024 through November 8th, 2024?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Hernandez. All those in favor, please say aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye. Motion passes. Next item is 2 ImageCast central scanning machines from Dominion Voting Systems.
Yes, correct. As you are both aware, I met with each of you in regards to a flooding which occurred in our basement. Even though it wasn't a flooding per se on the floor, it was water that was dripped from the ceiling down to our voting machines, which therefore we have to purchase new equipment. And this equipment will replace those damaged items, and each of those equipments will be $27,500 each, a total price of $55,000. And this machine is for the board's high-speed vote-by-mail ballot scanner.
Okay.
So we had to do a quick turnaround to get the quote and purchase the items for the upcoming election.
I know that we're seeking other ways to repay this, but what preventive measures are we taking just in case this happens again, or has it happened before?
This was the first, well, no, this is the second time that floor has leaked. But this hasn't been as severe as it was this time. So we are moving our equipment when we're not using it from this particular area. So if it happens again, it would just be in that room. In that particular space in the room. This is the largest space we have that we use in the building. And until we can secure other places to store this equipment, where the equipment was stored, it will be removed from there. And, the building, they are aware of this. So we're trying to work with the building to get additional space if possible.
But we have no way to protect them now?
Cover them, yes.
Tarp?
We do.
We have tarp that we can put tarp over them and just move them from that location in that space any event it happens again.
But did we have tarp then and we didn't?
We did not.
So we're gonna purchase.
We're
tarp.
going to purchase. We did not have them.
We didn't
When
have-
we purchased the machines, they did not have the tarps with them.
But did it happen before and we didn't have
No.
tarp?
No, they,
You said it wasn't as bad.
because it didn't get on any equipment, because the equipment was not directly in that space.
Okay. I know this is a ratification, but it's quite a bit for you to have to go out and get it and us to have to pay it again, and hopefully insurance will pay it.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Is,
Okay.
Right. okay, is there a motion to ratify the purchase order of 2 ImageCast Central County vote-by-mail ballot scanners from Dominion Voting Systems at a cost not to exceed $55,000?
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Seconded by Commissioner Hernandez. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Amanda. Next is a legal report, Mr. Lasker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, as you know, we just resolved the last of our electoral board cases at the electoral board level. Still watching the Illinois State Board of Elections case. The presidential candidate has gone up on an appeal. Keep our eyes on that. We've been watching also some litigation where the state board was a defendant. The plaintiffs were challenging the Illinois law that has all election authorities count vote by mail ballots that are properly postmarked or certified for the 14 days after election day. That was a challenge against that 14-day post-election period. On August 21st, 6 days ago, the Seventh Circuit entered a decision affirming the trial court's dismissal. The Seventh Circuit agrees that none of the plaintiffs had standing to challenge the law. They failed to allege an injury in fact. So at least at the Seventh Circuit appellate court level now, that case has been dismissed. So assuming that things stay put, we'll still count for 14 days. And that's my legal report for today.
Okay, great, thank you. We have no financial report today. Do we have any public comment? No public comment. Is there any for executive session?
No, thank you, Madam Chair.
If not, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved by Commissioner Brown.
Second by Commissioner Hernandez. All those in favor, please state aye.
Commissioner Brown votes aye.
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye. Motion passes and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.